Hey, Trucker Dave here. I'm sitting over here in Greensboro today, and I had a few minutes, and I thought I would start working on this video that I was thinking about the other day. We had a good laugh over me putting the flatbed on the trailer, and I thought I would tell the whole story from it. I got a couple of videos, and I've got some pictures, and it was really quite an ordeal, so here we go. So as you all know, I've been building that F-250 truck, and I decided that I would save some money by buying a trailer that had the bed I needed rather than buying a bed that was already off the truck. Saved a lot of money, and I had a video going over that. But what to do with the old flatbed? So, worked out a deal, called a buddy of mine, and he said, yeah, I want it. I said, hey, you can have it. He said, but I said, I need to use your Bobcat, because we're going to use the Bobcat to pick the flatbed up off the bed of the truck and set it on the trailer frame. Well, as you know, that didn't happen. He blew a cylinder in the Bobcat, and I decided that I could do it myself. And so we ended up doing that. Well, it ended up being rather catastrophic. This is part of it right here. And I have bruises all across my chest from the thing falling on me multiple times. But it was really kind of funny. So it started off rather innocently enough. It started off easy. I took the bed off the old trailer frame, picked right up, and set it on jack stands. It was golden. I was happy. Rolled the trailer out. So I decide it's time for me now. I'm going to take the flatbed off the truck. Now, mind you, it came apart really nicely. I cut everything off real easy, well, except for the step, and everything came loose. And by that point, you're kind of committed. So I knew it was heavy. I didn't realize how heavy it actually was until I hooked the engine stand up to it, and it would hold it up, but then I realized that the engine stand wasn't heavy enough to hold the flatbed up for me to drive the truck out from under it. So I'm standing on, holding on it like this, trying to figure out what's going on, and that thing literally just shot out like a watermelon seed and dropped. Plan 2. So I end up going ahead and trying something else. At this point, I thought I needed to cue some Benny Hill music, and as the pictures show, it was a little... My main concern was knocking out the rear window of the pickup truck. I didn't care about anything else other than that because I hate dealing with broken glass. And finding broken glass or fixing a broken rear windshield for that truck is very expensive. I was probably going to have to get and buy an old scrap cab with the window still in it and then have safety light come out and swap it, because I'm not even going to risk that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So I repositioned the lift and got it all picked up, and the whole bed literally went sideways, as you saw. And so I decided, sitting sideways on the truck, I reposition the hoist, I pick up the bed, and everything's golden for a minute. That thing fell over, took off the hoist, took out the side of my truck, hit my garage, and fell over sideways. So, with the help of a floor jack, I got it back up, I got the truck pulled out, had it still sideways, and then I weaseled the trailer under it. Now the problem was I needed the floor jack to move it sideways, but the floor jack is being used, which makes me think that maybe I need to get another floor jack. But that's what you saw in the video. There's more to this story. After all of that, I decided that I was going to take it to my buddy's house. He wanted the flatbed. He's going to build a dump trailer for his Chevy diesel. He wanted the flatbed to build into a dump trailer. Golden, you can have it. So I had it all set down on there. Everything looked like it was set perfectly. And so I wrap a safety chain around it so it doesn't move forward or backwards. And because it still had the tangs on each side of the frame and all that, and I was fine. Yeah, I was fine. I get 6 miles from the house, where a lot of you guys that live around the area know where 103rd and Broadway meet. Well, east of Broadway, it turns to dirt. US 81 there, it turns to dirt. So I head down that dirt road, go over the turnpike bridge, and hit my first obstacle, which was hydraulic. Now, when they paved that part of hydraulic, they never raised the road around it. They just kept laying asphalt down. So there's one heck of a crown. I made it up to the top, well, the truck did. The bed flexed, popped off the ball, and took off backwards without me, dislodging everything. So I have to back up. Now, mind you, I'm stuck halfway into the southbound lane of hydraulic, trying to jack a trailer back up to get it on the ball. So about 15 minutes later, I managed to get it picked up, all the dirt cleaned out. I had to reposition everything because it wouldn't drop, and I get it put in. Well, there was no safety chain on it, and that was my fault, but I didn't put one on there because I was just going about 15 miles. As I started heading down 103rd, we all know it takes a curve and turns into Oliver as you go towards River Vista. Because I had to take it down 103rd to Oliver, another mile to 111th Street, and go south to the old River Vista out there on the west side of the river in Mulvane there. For all of you around there know where that is. We drank enough beer out there on those roads. Anywho, the further I went, the road grader hadn't been out there, or he had been out there in some spots, so it was all washboarded up, and there was still a lot of flooding out there. And as I'm going, I'm getting slower and slower because the bed's vibrating and it's turning sideways, it's turning sideways, it's sliding, it's sliding, it's sliding. And it got a little tedious there after a while. In fact, it had slid so far off to one side that I thought it was going to fall off, and it probably would have had I not had that safety chain on there. But I make it over to my buddy's house, and I drop it in his backyard, and as one final get back, the trailer, I stick it on a block of wood, it rolls off, drops off the block of wood, and ends up burying the nose into the dirt. And I just looked at Mac and said, yeah, that's where it's going to stay. And so the trailer's at his house, and I took off, and hopefully, if I have to bring it back home, he'll have his Bobcat going, and we're going to tack weld that sucker on because I don't want to deal with that again. I hope the story wasn't too boring for you. It was a whole lot more fun in person, but it was a little tedious, and hopefully I don't have to do that again. So I appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you later.